Hello and welcome in my channel. So before I start, if you have not yet watched the previous video about the different lobes of the brain, I advise you to see it first. So in this video we're gonna look especially at the functional areas of the cerebral cortex. And now, as you can see, we are looking at the lateral view of our brain. So firstly, we have here this area which is called the prefrontal cortex, located in the frontal lobe. So this part receives information from another area of our brain and helps integrate that information with past experience with the help of the limbic system. It has a lot to do with thinking and making judgments, and it's where you understand what's socially acceptable, how to behave, just anything related to heavy human conditioning. So after this prefrontal cortex, we have the premotor cortex. This area receives processed sensory information. This helps to plan complex movements and sends the plan to the primary motor cortex that we're gonna see it now. And here we have the primary motor cortex. So this part is one of the principal brain areas involved in motor function, and it is located in the back of the frontal lobe, just about at the top of your head. So this area receives signals from the prefrontal and the premotor cortex for making the body or the muscles move and work together. So we can say that the role of the primary motor cortex is to generate neural impulses that control the execution of movements. So just below those areas we have this little part which is called the Broca's area. It is what helps control motor movements for speech production. In other words, it is what helps dictate how you form the words to your speech. So we have here the central sulcus, and it is a shallow groove separating frontal lobe from parietal lobe. And then we have here this area which is called the primary somatosensory cortex. This area is just posterior to the central sulcus in the parietal lobe of the cerebral cortex. So this part of brain is involved with perception of cutaneous and kinesthetic sensation. So after this primary somatosensory cortex, we have here in this area the sensory cortex. So this part of the brain forms the center for combined sensation, like stereognosis. For example, understanding the form and the nature of objects by the sense of the touch. And then we have here this part of brain which is called the Winx Area. And it is an association area located in the left temporal and parietal lobes, and it recognizes spoken words and translates words into thoughts and helps to sound down new words. So here we have the visual cortex. This part of the brain is located in the posterior occipital lobe, and it is concerned with interpretation of visual impulses. And then we have here the primary visual cortex. This area is concerned with perception of visual impulses. And as we can see here, we have the olfactory cortex. And it is a sensory area located on the middle side of the temporal lobe. This part of the brain receives impulses when the olfactory receptor of the nose are stimulated. And here we have the primary auditory cortex. This area is concerned with perception of auditory impulses when the auditory receptor of the ear are stimulated. And finally, we have here this area which is called the limbic association cortex. It is a group of interconnected subcortical structures involved in olfaction, emotion, motivation, behavior, and various autonomic functions. So if you want to learn more about the brain anatomy, you can look at the next video. So I hope you enjoyed this video and thank you for watching.